Hello everyone, I am Jacko Trap, and today I'll be starting a mini-series on this channel called My Final Thoughts on Chapter 4 until the devlogs. Now, this will be discussing everything I believe is going to happen in Chapter 4, one level at a time. This will have 3 parts. The first part, which is this one, will be focusing on the Reaper Nurse, this level. Then, next episode, we'll be discussing about the Joy Gang, this level. Then, Trigger Teddy and Mama Bears will be the final one. Now, let's get started with, and I'll be starting off with the video with the music. And let's start off with Reaper Nurse's first piece of music, Cold Hearted. Now, what I think about Cold Hearted is that it'll be for the introduction of the level in the first zone. And maybe the second zone as well. Actually, no. It will be for the first and second zone. And the introduction as well. When we see a Reaper Nurse at the booth. I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing a Reaper Nurse at the booth. At a booth. That's what I think. Then True Colors. I believe that this will be for the third zone of their level. Because most likely every level in Chapter 4 will have 3 zones. And maybe a total of, at most, 400 to 500 soul shards to collect. Now, let's get on to this. This level, it will be decently big. Okay, and on to the next piece of music, which is Take Your Medicine. I honestly believe that this is the chase scene. Like, what else could it be? It's jumpy enough to be a chase theme for them. I mean, just listen to it. That's why I think that Take Your Medicine is going to be the chase theme of the Reaper Nurse's level. Now, on to the final piece of music for the Reaper Nurse. And that's Patient Transfer. This is most likely going to be the boss fight music. And I'll discuss what I think the boss will be later in the video. Because it has that ding sound, like my friend V Gamer said, has that ding sound. Anyway, now that that's done, we'll have this music playing while we discuss about other stuff. Now, we'll be discussing about the power-up. Telekinesis. Now, what I think telekinesis is going to do is this. Because there's a leaked voice line of Pierce. It says, if we can't get to the shard, we have to bring the shard to us. So I think telekinesis will bring soul shards to us. I mean, within a close vicinity, you know, like other video games use that. Some of them, I think, are mobile games that use that. That magneticness. Sorry about that, guys. I was stuttering a bit there. Sorry. Now let's think for a second. Now, this is what I think the Reaper Nurses are going to act. At the beginning, people thought that they were going to have hearing like the Silent Hill nurses. They can't do that because that's copyright infringement. Now, Now, what I think they're gonna be like is, okay, they maybe have the hearing. I'm not sure if the hearing mechanic for or the Sound Health nurses is necessarily copyrighted, but I think they have bad hearing. And here is reason why. Because they're younger. Okay, no, you know what? Never mind. They'll have good hearing. Like maybe the floors will sometimes creak, and maybe they'll hear right when we activate a power up. If they do have hearing, that's probably what's going to happen. And I think they're going to be quite fast, like faster than Agatha, and anything else. Now, let's talk about how they'll use their huge syringes. What I think they're going to use their huge syringes for is, let's see, either give us power downs when we use a certain power up, like they'll go away very quickly, or they won't be as effective, or they'll do the opposite of what they do. That's what I think when they're going to use the syringes for. They're going to poke us with the syringes and they'll use the power down on any of our power-ups. Like, stun will probably only last like a second or a second and a half. And next is what people think because of the power-up theory. And I believe this theory. Because in the next level, we'll be getting a power-up known as Vanish that will make us turn invisible. Which means the Reaper nurses will most likely turn invisible. Now, and we'll use those syringes to probably, and in one of the images in the Reaper nurse's voice reveal, it showed the Reaper nurse with a small syringe. Now, here's what I think they're going to use those small syringes for. I'm not sure if this is necessarily going to be a thing because of the Dread Duckies mechanic, or maybe there'll be it might stun us, but that would be reusing a mechanic, which is from the Dread Duckies, and VGamer says they won't be reusing mechanics. So here's what I think they'll do. They'll give us a small power down, and they'll throw them at us. And here's the thing. I think they'll have chances of how big it's going to be. Like there'll be a chance they'll just either give us a small power down, or it will kill us. That's what I think. And that's everything that I believe that the Reaper nurses is going to do. Now, we're going to discuss traps. We might get spike traps again. Now, and maybe they'll probably have special traps that if we step on a certain place, that we'll probably have to use our teleport ability to get across that certain place. That trap will activate and probably either crush us or send a saw blade right through our way, and we can't move. Oh, this happens. Now, I know that would be quite unfair, but if they do that, but just think about it. Now, let's discuss the boss. What I think the boss of the Reaper Nurses level is going to be is the same idea as V-Gamer, which is kind of like the opposite of the enemy theory, but it also has to be the exact same species as the enemy, which which makes me believe it's going to be the Fat Nurse. And I believe everything that V-Gamer says about the Fat Nurse. I believe we're going to have to get her syringe stuck in the wall, and then we have to attack her. That's what I think about the Fat Nurse. And here's the thing. The Fat Nurse will not be the only thing in that battle. Because remember, in Chapter 3, all the boss fights have the enemies that you had to face in the level as well as the boss. So I believe that the Reaper Nurses will appear in that boss fight as well. Because it would make sense. Because they did it in Chapter 3's boss fights. It would make the most sense and would make it more challenging. And Vince did say that Chapter 4 is going to be the hardest chapter in the game. And then he did say that Chapter 5 might top Chapter 4's insanity. But here's the thing. Vince was asked about, the difficulty of Chapter 4 and asked from scale to 1 to 10 and how difficult is Chapter 4? And Vince said a 9. 9 out of 10 difficulty, which is pretty dang difficult. Which means that Deadly Decadence and Crazy Carnival will look like babies compared to Chapter 4's levels. Now, and here's a theory I have for when they turn invisible. When they turn invisible, I'm pretty sure we cannot, and I repeat, cannot use Primal Fear. That's what I believe. We might be able to use telepathy, but I'm pretty sure when they turn invisible, we cannot use Primal Fear to stun them. Which will make it very difficult. And that's what I think. Now, here's the thing. Where could the boss fight take place? Will it take place in the middle of the level, like in Stranger Sewer, or the very end of the level? Or heck, maybe in between the level? Maybe right before you go to the third zone, maybe that's where it's going to be. For this boss fight. Or, because, you know what I mean, man. That's what I think. And now that's what are my final thoughts on Chapter 4, or first level, which is the Reaper Nurse's level. That's my final thoughts on that level until the devlogs. 7 through 9 happen. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.